Serious and you're looking for a Christ man, the one who anointed with the Lord, with the Spirit of the Lord to do his will, I'm that nigga.
One West, 125th Street. Look, y'all put your faith in presidents like they gon' change this country. Run the league and let y'all play cause y'all gon' make a money. Fuck Obama, he ain't come here on cargo.
American honor don't lack no soldiers. For the Spirit of the Lord, we don't lack no soldiers.
The same. Black, Hispanic, Native, they hate y'all as the same. Hate Christ in they image, paint you as a slave. God ain't all love, scriptures say he hate. African soft niggas, they know we not the same. School to prison pipeline to get you off the streets. Put you in the cell toilet connected to the sink. Molested as a kid, she prostituted as a teen. The byproduct of Martin Luther King dream. They just took the yoke off, my nigga, we ain't free. We living bleak in these wastelands of poverty. If you don't know the truth, then the lie sound promising. Prophecy, gift and the curse. Dylan started killing, they was sitting in church. Black folk forgave him, man, this shit is absurd. You should never love your enemy, that shit ain't gon' work. Yeah, fuck dying on your knees, you better die in glory. Man, I joined the UPK, taught me the art of warring. I took a nigga life like mine to be recognized. I feel that pain every day, it can't be reconciled. Pops banging, my sister a prostitute. My brother got life, and somehow I still found the truth. War ready, no cowards, no excuse. Fuck reparations, you can't bandage no open wounds. Blood on the leaves, body swing hung from a noose. I was on a run in Nashville and I found the truth. I called the school, classes being held by the shock on my life. I want to be a gangster like a cop. Do this for my brothers, real brotherhood. Everything we do, we got it out this book. My nigga, I can never be no African. UPK the only authorized acronym. I'm passionate about my brothers and sisters. We in hell, I ain't got nothing against them. That's another religion. If it ain't under YAHANNA, Amy murdered by them and got a hug from YAHANNA. That's the way out for a coward in my observation. They don't fear the Lord, they indoctrinated. Wolves in sheep clothing, Joe Osteen. Real priests bringing back black royalty. One West on my headpiece, ranking order. Can't let them trick me off the streets, I gotta raise my daughter. I got brothers at the border ducking ICE agents. I got the name change, it was life changing. My family thought it was a game, put on all black, they said I was going through a phase. It's more of us in jail than it was slaves.
Aquí somos la Escuela Israelita del Conocimiento Práctico Universal. Hoy estamos aquí. Lord Commander General YAHANNA I.S.U.P.K.
This is what Commander General YAHANNA did. This is what he did.
First camp, I cut off all my dreads. I took an oath when that oil hit my head. Niggas capping like they lids. I'm a priest, I never stick no fork in no pig. I was dead till I found out how to live. This brotherhood taught me how to be a man. I came back to my roots, I had to dig. A couple gaps I had to bridge. I got a rib, I'm married to this work. You wanna serve the Lord, he ain't in the Christian church. I had to dig.
That's right. Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to isupk.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're one West. They're one West. They're one West. They're...
Hey, Shalom, Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai Brakatham to all the brothers, Yahweh Shamar Alatham Bahashem Yahushai to all the sisters. I'm Priest and Officer 500 Barak Yalla. You already know what it is. The Brotherhood class again every Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commander John YAHANNA, started on 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. And since 1969, I've been teaching you nothing but the truth about who are the real biblical Jews. Who are they? The greatest people on earth, the chosen people of the one and only true God, are so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, the descendants of the slaves in the Americas and the Caribbean, you understand, who have been scattered throughout the whole planet Earth. We're here to wake up our people, to let them know that it is time to wake up right now. It was time yesterday, it was time a month ago, and time is running short. It's why we teach these classes damn near every day of the week, to let our people know, you understand, who they are, because nobody can navigate in this world without knowing who they are. Knowing who you are is the number one thing on knowing how to operate, knowing what to do. You understand? We're going to bring that out damn near every class, because Arabs know how they should operate based on the culture of their people. How do they know what is the culture of their people? Because they know who their people are. You understand? So-called Chinese know how to operate. They know what language to speak. They know what their people do, because they know who their people are. Guess who don't know? Blacks, Latinos, and Natives do not know who their people are. And this is the reason why they adopt every false way, every religion, and every other people's culture. Not because they appreciate it, not because they were curious about it, because they don't know their own culture. They don't speak their own language. They speak French, English, Spanish, Portuguese, Creole, right? Everything else but their own language, which is the Lashwan Kodash, or what you would call Paleo, meaning ancient Hebrew, right? And this is why it's so important. It's so important to know who you are, to know your culture. You understand? SHALAM, right? So make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, comment, ask your questions. We're live on I.S.U.P.K. Montreal, Toronto, IET, Boston, on YouTube, I.S.U.P.K. Montreal in Canada on Facebook, as well as Brocchiella UPK on Beagle. Make sure you like, share, comment, ask questions, right? If there's no question, we're going to get into the topic of tonight's class, which is a part 2 of last week's class, which is clean up the Lord's house before he comes to visit, right? A little recap. It's like, as a kid, which I brought out last week, right? As a kid, when your parents leave the house, you know, until you clean up the house, do the dish, wash the dishes, sweep, mop the floor. You're like, yeah, I got this. By the time the parent come back home, whether it's mom, dad, or both, if you don't clean the house, you will get reprimanded, which we're already being reprimanded for, you know, our filthiness. Let's put it like that. So we're talking about cleaning, right? We're already being reprimanded. We're being in captivity for so long. And that's us being reprimanded. Why? Because we dirty up the Lord's house, man. That's why. You say, you know what? By the time I send Christ, I send your big bro, you know, to check upon y'all, man. The house better be clean. So y'all better clean the house before y'all get the next level of reprimand, which is what the Bible called the second death. You understand? I don't know about y'all, but I'm tired of being oppressed. I'm tired. I just seen a video, right? It was in Madison. Yeah, I just seen what, 4 or 5 cops unalive a brother by shooting him multiple times in the head. Aren't y'all tired of seeing that? It's like every day your algorithm is plagued with our suffering and the deviancy that we were conditioned to adopt. I just seen another thing. I think it's in the UK. In the UK, there's so many pedophiles that they're going to stop arresting them. There's just too many of them. Now they're saying in the UK they're going to need what you call it again? These pedophiles need therapy. That's what they're saying. These pedophiles need therapy. Should I tell you what is not a secret? That most of them, 90% of them, is white men? Did I mention that? Did I even need to mention it? It's irrelevant. The point is, This society is so dysfunctional, and we're just used to it. And when you look at the algorithm on social media, in the news, it's all about us suffering. You know, whether it's Cardi B promoting whoredom, now she's with another man apparently, a potential other baby daddy. You understand? Who else? Lil Wayne talking about he only made a baby because his mom was lonely after his dad's death, which is horrible. The passing away of any one of our community is horrible, but that is not a reason to make a child. The scripture says, what it says again, bear me 1 second. I don't want to paraphrase this one because this one is heavy, right? For all y'all making babies out here, you know, do not profit of these ungodly children, right? We're talking about, brother, it is when you're rich. What are you referring to? Bear me 1 second. Let me get this for y'all. It's in the Apocrypha. Again, any questions, comments, feel free to put it in the chat. I think it's in Ecclesiasticus, if I'm not mistaken. Bear with me 1 second. There you go. Ecclesiasticus 16:1. Let's go there. Anyone who wants to see my screen, because I'm gonna share my screen when I get these precepts, right? Feel free to come on the channel. I.S.U.P.K. Montreal, Toronto, Boston, IET on YouTube, or I.S.U.P.K. Montreal in Canada on Facebook, right? This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 16, verse 1. Desire not a multitude of unprofitable children. Listen, children is a gift of the Lord, right? And the Lord said, be fruitful and multiply. But what is the point of being fruitful and multiply if all you raise is little sodomites and little prostitutes? Children is a gift of the Lord, but what's the point of having these children if you're having a boy, right? And he's going to grow up in this society not raised right for whatever reason. The main reason is that because our oppressor is the devil. That's why. The father's not in the house and he's going to grow up to be a YN. To what profit is it to have sons if they grow up to be YNs, unaliving one another? To what profit is it to have sons if they grow up to identifying as girls? To what profit is it to have a daughter growing up as a shameful dog? That's what the Bible calls a shameful woman. What profit? Like, what's the point of having these kids that are never going to grow up to be adults? Again, Lil Wayne said he only had a kid at 14 years old, not because he wanted to have a kid, because his mom was lonely after his father, right? Not his biological father, but his father passing away. He said, my mom was lonely, so I had a kid. Listen, what's her name? Regina Carter? Is that her name? Something like that. She was dating this rapper. What's this rapper name again? I think he's in jail. I say YFN Lucci. I think that's his name, YFN Lucci. Let me see. YFN Lucci. Y'all bear me 1 second. I think that's him. It could probably NBA young boy. Who knows? YFN Lucci. Now that's it. So she was with YFN Lucci, right, for a year. So it says Lil Wayne's daughter Regina Carter was in a highly publicized relationship with rapper YFN Lucci. Let me share my screen, right? Matter of fact, I don't even need to do that because we're just going to go briefly over it. The romance began in 2018 when Regina was 19 and Lucci was 27. They eventually split in 2019 following controversies about Lucci's subsequent legal issues. See, that's the problem. Again, what does the Bible says? Ecclesiasticus 16:1, desire not a multitude of unprofitable children, neither delight in ungodly sons. It says sons, but it's talking about children. You understand? Because, listen, Reginald Carter is an example because sex is marriage. You know, she probably had other sexual partners before, but that's probably the one that's the most well known. The point is, once you lay down with a person, that's marriage, that's for life. Now she made a whore out of herself. You understand? Is Lil Wayne a great example? Was he a great example for his children? Absolutely not. But just because your mother is lonely is not a reason to have kids. See, that's the problem. We're conditioned to not think right. Even when you're conditioned to think right, listen, you should not ever think for yourself. The Bible says, trust in the Lord with all thy heart and lean not into your own understanding. Meaning, go seek counsel for everything, man. Don't think that you know better, because you don't. The heart is deceitful above anything. I'm just paraphrasing. Why? Because you think you know better, but you're just convincing yourself that you're doing something right. Or you're not making a mistake. Come to find out, you convincing yourself. You understand? You trusting in yourself. It's not yourself. It's probably a demon telling you, yeah, do what I tell you to do. Listen to me. And that's what you're telling yourself all the time. You listening to yourself is a mistake. Call your camp leader, man. Call the men above you. Call your father. If he's a man of the Lord, call your father, man. That's what counsel is for you to avoid making these mistakes. And that's so sad. Let's get another precept and then we'll get back in the topic of the class, right? Let's go into Hosea chapter 4. It's one of my favorite precepts. Why? Because it explains the reason why we're in the condition that we're in today. Hosea chapter 4, verse 6. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Lil Wayne did not know it is unprofitable. It is not good to have these unprofitable children, to have these ungodly sons. You understand? Our people till this day don't understand that you should never trust your enemy. They don't even know that integration is literally against the law. Integration is against the law. Segregation is biblical law. And I'm gonna finish this, show you that in the law, and then we're gonna get back to the topic of the class. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. We're destroyed because we don't know. Right? Let's keep reading. Let's see what it says. Because thou hast rejected the knowledge. Not because you were not provided the knowledge, we were given the knowledge since Adam. What did Adam do? Adam rejected the knowledge. He loved his woman more than he loved the Lord. That's what Adam did. Adam disobeyed. Adam was the first simp. How Adam was the first simp. The Lord gave Adam instructions. You know, he gave it to his wife. His wife did what every Black and Latina and Native women do till this day. They listen to the white man. He want to listen to his wife, who listened to the white man. And then the Lord say, yo, you're going to have to work hard now. Listen, I gave you everything. You could have just asked for it. Now you wanted to do that? I no sweat. Adam was destroyed because he rejected the knowledge. Our women are bringing child into this world painfully. Why? Because Eve rejected the knowledge. Since the Garden of Eden, we did a whole class about that. We've been following the heathens since the Garden of Eden. Y'all can look it up. It's on I.S.U.P.K. Toronto. I think we did a 1 or 2 part class. Either way, right? We're destroyed for lack of knowledge since Adam, because since Adam, we've been rejected the knowledge. Let's keep reading. I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Listen, if you turn away, if you leave the house of the Lord, don't expect the Lord. Listen, I keep saying this all the time. Hey, SHALAM, you can't force someone, right? You can't force a drug addict to stop smoking crack. You could tie them up to a tree. They're gonna not smoke crack while they're tied up to the tree for obvious reasons. The moment they get untied, you think they're just gonna repent and say they're never gonna smoke crack again? No, they're gonna run to the crack house because they've been feeding for crack for the longest time while they were tied up to a tree, man. The Lord is not gonna force you back into the house. You say you want to leave the house of the Lord. Hey, Lord be with you. You want to go out. It's like you see, what's the movie again? Lion King. When Mufasa told Simba, don't go into the grave of the elephant. Don't go into the elephant graveyard. Now, I can protect you if you go there. This is exactly what we did. We went into the elephant's graveyard. We left the house of the Lord. We turned our back on the Lord. The Lord, he didn't turn his back on us. He said, hey, Lord be with you. And guess what? He's the Lord, and he was not with you. He said, no sweat. We'll see. The door is wide open. You could come back, though. Right? This is how you be protected, by staying in the house, by not even just in the house, but by staying in the parameters, in the perimeter, however you say it. Right? You stay within the gates. You stay protected under his shadow. But you decided to experience beyond the world. Right? You decide to go to a place of desolation. You understand? Because it looks fun. Because people smoke weed and they laugh. They have a, what's it called again? Euphoria. It's funny. It looks fun. Right? People party every day. You know. They advertise sin as it's amazing. It's like rap music. They push a narrative on how it is cool to be a gangster. It is cool to be a drug dealer. It is cool to be a criminal. It's really not. And that's how they advertise sin to us. That's how sin is for us. Like the way we looked at sin and the sinful lifestyle is the way impressionable minds look at hip hop music, right? It's cool to be a rapper. It's cool to dress a certain way, to have chains, to speak a certain way, right? That's how they see art controls the mind. That's how they push a certain image. And that's how we look at sin. You know, that's how the serpent advertised it to Eve. He said, yo, you're going to be powerful. You're going to do this. You're going to be able to do that or whatnot. You're going to be as gods. You understand? You don't want to be as gods? You gotta know, yes, you have the power to know you're good and evil. Yo, it's so, trust me, it's amazing. Man, that's why a man is in charge. That's why he went to the woman, because the woman is impressionable. And how is the nation of Israel described as when it comes to the Lord? Anyone could answer. On Bigo, YouTube, Facebook, answer. How is the nation of Israel described to the Lord? And you're going to understand why I said it the way I said it. Right? How are we? Let me put it like this. What is the nation of Israel to the Lord? What is the nation of Israel to the Lord? Anyone could answer. Dobie, anyone in the chat. What is the nation of Israel to the Lord? Backsliders, yes, but I give a specific example, right? Focus on the example I just gave. I'm not going to give the example again because it would give the answer, right? Now, what is the nation of Israel to the Lord? I'm going to give y'all a few more seconds, probably another minute or so, and then I'm going to give y'all the answer. You're going to understand about the example I gave, right? No sweat. The nation of Israel is also compared to as a wife unto the Lord. And with that, you could understand how the man is in charge. The Lord is in charge. And when the wife doesn't follow the husband's direction, she messes up. Eve didn't follow her husband's direction. She messed up. The nation of Israel, which is a wife unto the Lord, don't follow the husband's direction, which is the Lord's direction. As a nation, we mess up. The nation of Israel is impressionable. Without the guidance of the Lord, they're going to mess up. That's the point. And sin is advertised. Is sin. Without the guidance of the Lord, we would do all manners of sin. Listen, the tribe of Benjamin almost got eradicated, right? Because they strayed away from the path of the Lord. You understand? Now, let me go real quick to Leviticus. I said I will show you segregation in the law. Let me go to Leviticus. Damn right. Leviticus, what is it, 20? Leviticus chapter 20, verse 7. Again, questions, comments, I'll put it in the chat. Of course, my nigga Aizan is there. Shalom, Yahbashin Shabrakatah, Mosai in Christ. This is the law right here. Segregation is in the law. Integration is against the law. That's it right here. That's in the law. That's in Leviticus. Leviticus chapter 20, verse 7 says, sanctify yourselves. The word sanctify means to render holy. That's what the word sanctify means. You understand? And be ye holy. The word holy comes from the Hebrew word kodash in the Hebrew, which means to be separate or set apart. That's what holy means. You understand? And integration is the opposite of being set apart. Meaning what? Integration is against the law, as I told you. For I am the Lord your God. Let's jump down to verse 26. Yes, 26. Leviticus chapter 20, verse 26. And ye shall be holy unto me, for I, the Lord, am holy. The Lord said, you are separate from me because you are special. You're not like these other people. You are separate. You're the one I put aside. You're the one that I care about. You're the one that's right next to me. You're set apart from all these nations, man. Because I am set apart. You understand? For I, the Lord, am holy. He is the God of the children of Israel, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. No one else. And have severed you from other people. If he severed us, to sever something means to cut off. If you go in a car accident and you know, one of your limbs gets severed, that means that one of your limbs is, damn, I'm gonna say it has been hacked off, man. Has been violently, to sever is to violently cut off. It's not just like a little cut on your finger that you get while cooking in the kitchen. You know, for those who don't know how to cut vegetables, Lord be with y'all, man. I'm not in that category. That's all I know. The point is this. It's not a little splinter. It's not a little cut. You know, y'all go to the barbershop getting the lineups that is unlawful to get. It's not a little razor bump or anything like that. You know what? Is to be cut off, is to be separated violently. It's not a little cut that you could just fix. Nah, man. Something that's severed is gone. You are not with the other people. You are severed. You are cut off from these people, man. Why? Because you're special. You're not supposed to be like everybody else. That's why. Let's keep reading that. Ye should be mine. You understand? The Lord cut us off from these people for us to be his, for us to be something that he cherishes. The Lord called the nation of Israel the apple of his eye. You know what's the apple of your eye? Something so precious. You understand? It's like, yo, you don't want it to be mixed with everything else. You understand? It's like a food that, yo, you keep for yourself. Like, you know, how could I put it? Listen, that's Salakia. It's again, it's another point where I told you, you know, the Bible says the nation of Israel is like is compared to the Lord, to the Lord is compared as a wife. A wife is not the woman that's just like every woman. The wife is the one you picked. The wife is that woman that you chose. You understand? The Lord chose a special flower. He has a special river. He has a special animal. He has a favorite everything. He has a, guess what? He has a favorite people, man. And just like when you pick your wife, because that woman is special, she's not just a regular prostitute. She's not, some woman that, it is what it is. She's just like any other woman. No, she's the one that you decide to lay down with. That's how you know she's special, because you commit to her. Well, guess what? You are the special people of the Lord, man. You are special to the Lord, not these other people. These other people are filthy. It's so disgusting that so disgusting that America is literally described as a whore. It's in the Bible. I ain't making this up. America is described as a prostitute. It's in the Bible. But you're not on the same level as a prostitute. You want to be, though. That's why you decide to integrate. That's why you don't want to follow the Lord. You're supposed to be a woman that is special, is separate, something special to the Lord. It's like a woman is special to a man, but you decide to be like a prostitute. You understand? Hey, Shalom, Yahweh Shema, Thabashim, Yahweh Shai. You understand? Now, let's get back into the topic. The topic is this, right? Topic, again, is part 2 of last week's class, which is clean up the Lord's house before he comes to visit. Because he's coming to visit, and it's not going to be pretty. It's going to be bad. Christ said he's not coming back to give hugs and kisses and chocolates. That's what the church teaches. The church is all about feeling happy. The Lord never told you to be happy. The Lord, you understand, he told you to be obedient. You understand? That's what the Lord told you to be obedient. He don't tell you to be happy and what's the word people use? Frolic. Be happy and frolic in a field of flowers and daisies. Who told you that? The church. The church told you that, man. The Lord told you, be obedient until the end. Be obedient like Job was obedient, regardless of regardless of what you face. Don't ever put your sword down. You as a woman, regardless of what you face, don't ever uncover your head. Suffer till the end. Suffer until the end, man. That's what it is. But because you were raised in the church, everything has to be emotional and happy. If you're not happy, well, you leave. You know what? That's why you can't come into the truth. Because the truth, it's not about being happy. You understand? But you want to be happy. Therefore, you're going to go in the mosque. You're going to go to church. You're going to do like Will Smith and take a trip to India and bow down to the East Indian gurus that'll get you high as a kite on marijuana and have you do all types of lascivious, disgusting stuff. That's what it is. You want to be happy. Therefore, what you're going to do, you're never going to commit to a woman. You're never going to keep her. You want to be happy. Therefore, you're never going to keep a man because you want to be happy. The Lord don't give a damn about happiness. You don't even know what it is to be happy, truly, because you care about yourself. The Bible is the whole Israelite culture is not a selfish culture. When it comes to dealing with our nation, you have to be selfless. When it comes to dealing with other nations, now we're selfish. Why? Because we have so much love for our people that there is not enough to give to other nations. By the time they ask for it, you ran out. It's that simple. And if you haven't run out yet, they ask for it, think twice before you give them your love, because you might do it and you're going to run out for the love that you have to give to your people. You understand? But the Lord wants us to clean up the house before it's too late. Let's get that. Zephaniah 2:1. Again, any questions, comments, y'all put it in the chat. Book of Zephaniah. Chapter 2, verse 1. Book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together, It's talking about the nation of Israel, man. It says, gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation. Again, we always have to emphasize on the fact that not only it says it twice. That's how stubborn we are. We have to be reminded twice, gather together. You know how many times it says, yo, follow the laws, man? Follow the laws. Remember to follow the laws. Come on, man. The Lord knows you're a stiff-necked people. It says you twice. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together. O nation not desired. What else we have to emphasize on? The fact that it says nation, singular. Not nations, plural. Not like what the church says. Not we are the world, we are the children, like Michael Jackson sang. Nah. It says, O nation, singular. Not desired. And guess what? So-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians are one and same nation. One and same nation. Mexicans are your brothers. Matter of fact, that's why y'all getting the parasite that makes you have explosive diarrhea. Why? Because those same Mexicans that you had in the fields picking up these fruits and vegetables, you deported them. The Lord said, oh yeah, no sweat. I got you. You want to keep deporting my people? You're going to keep, there was ICE just kidnapped someone again, I think in Cali. They shot a Colombian father right next to his, was it his daughter or his son? I forgot. Right next to his 3-year-old child, a legal immigrant. You understand? The Lord said, no sweat. He got you plagues, man. He got you plagues like you don't even understand. What else? There's a new parasite with fish in Canada and the US. It's called, what is it again? Is it a cancerous carcin? I think some type of cancerous parasite in the fish in the US and Canada. You know why? Because you keep Native American Indians on reservations. That's why. That nation that is not desired is not everybody that's feeling some type of oppression. Everybody's oppressed under the white man. We're talking about a specific nation that everyone hates, that the white man hates, that the Arabs hate, that the Africans hate, that the East Indian hate, that all these 17 nations hate. And that's the nation of Israel. The Lord said, we need to come together, man. We need to gather together again. Oh, nation not desired. Because if you're undesirable to everybody, who's going to love you? If not yourselves. Salakia. Let's keep reading. Verse 2. Before the decree bring forth. What is a decree? Who knows what a decree is? What is the definition of a decree? Anyone in the chat? What is the definition of a decree? I'm gonna get your answer. I'm gonna get your question in a minute, Dobie. What is the definition of a decree? See, the problem is a lot of people read the Bible without knowing basic definition, etymology, or context of any word or anything. Sis Pretty said an order. Anyone else? I'm gonna get 2 more answers. She said an order. What is a decree? I know Aizan knows. Aizan has all the answers all the time. Shalom, Kap, Yabasha Shabakta. What is a decree? A formal authoritative order. All right. Anyone else? The purpose of God. Nah. Well, those two answers were correct. Now let's get a definition according to the dictionary, right? The closest answer was what the brother put in the chat, a formal authoritative order. A decree is an official order. An official order. That's why it is an order, but his answer was more correct because it's a formal and authoritative order. Is an official order issued by legal authority or someone in position of power that carries the force of law. And as we know where the law comes from in the Bible. We know whose law it is, right? It can also act as a formal and binding judgment handed down by a court to settle the rights and obligations of parties involved in a lawsuit. The point is, it is an official order, but it could also act as a formal and binding judgment, which is the two key parts. Why? Because it says, gather together, or nation not desired, right? Before the decree bring forth. The Lord has a specific order, man. There is an order. Listen, Christ is going to come back when he receives the order, when the decree has been put out, when the decree has been brought forth. You understand? When the act of judgment, boy, listen, where is it again? Let me get that precept for y'all, because y'all seem to don't understand how it is so important to clean up the house before it's too late. Let me get matter of fact, we're gonna wait till I bring that precept out, because that's heavy, right? There's a decree that you don't understand the level of that judgment that will be brought forth once that decree is out. A lot of people think they do, they think they grasp it, but even until you see it, until you witness it, like, you will not understand that level of judgment, that level of destruction. The Bible tells you. But a lot of y'all don't read the Bible. Y'all just barely glanced over it. And that's the problem. In the UPK, we don't read it, we live it. That's how we could grasp how heavy it is, especially when it says to gather together, not just because of brotherhood, but that's the number one thing. We have to love one another. Brotherhood. But it says gather forth. Let me keep reading. Before the day pass, as the shaft. What does it mean? See it like in these old Western movies, that little dust ball that passes. Before the day is just gone, like the little dust ball in front of your eyes. Before that happens, because it's going to be quick. It says the hour of judgment is what? And the Lord will judge these heathens in about an hour, meaning in a short time. Before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you. Boy, listen, y'all better clean up the house before you get chastised by your parent. Once he come and check if the house is clean or not, that sibling that clean up the house, Most High in Christ, you're going to go on a vacation on a chariot. That sibling that still has a room dirty or just swept everything under the rug, you're going to be chastised with the second death, with the fierce anger of the Lord coming upon you, man. It's not pretty. I'm telling you right now. We're going to look at it. Before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you, before the day of the Lord's anger come upon you. You see, that's the problem. Christians, they give you the day of the Lord like something beautiful to wait upon, right? That's the problem. The day of the Lord is something you should fear. Even when it comes to like salvation, right? People think we're just gonna see destruction is gonna be a beautiful sight to see. A lot of us have been desensitized on a lot of things, right? For example, let me get y'all questions in a second. Let me just finish my point real quick. For example, right? Especially Captain Mashak brought this out when he spoke about the judgment when it comes to being stoned to death. A lot of people can't grasp it because, especially if you've never been in a so-called third world country, right? You hear stories like, I remember, I've seen a car crash, right? No, it's not a car crash. It was a motorbike accident. Yo, listen, I've seen body parts all over the place. It was not pretty. Imagine how traumatizing it is for certain people to see certain things to the point where I desensitize. It's not like our Captain Mashak brought this out. I'm just gonna paraphrase real quick, right? It's like you see someone being unalive today in the streets, by gunshot, for example, how we unalive each other, right? Like that's like a one and done and thing like that, right? In some third world countries, you get literally chopped up. You go to the Caribbean island, forget a fight with a machete. You fight with rocks and stones and wooden beams and things like that. I have stories of brothers I know from Ecuador. Come on, man. I ain't even gonna break this down. The point is this: you see how it could sound traumatizing, even just the motorcycle accident I've seen. The day of the Lord is. Commend and Anna broke this down, right? In these days that are coming, a lot of people think they are ready to take a life, anything like that. Maybe, because it's easy to squeeze a trigger. It's easy to do certain things, right? It's easy, especially if there's no laws that's going to govern, or, laws are going to be not as much as in effect as they are right now, because they're losing it. The society is falling apart. But what you're not ready for is to see your own children die. What you're not ready for is to see your own children being blown to pieces. What you're not ready for is, boys, watch some of the most gruesome horror movies. You're literally not ready for that. I've seen videos of what's going on in Palestine. Imagine that, but right next to you, like a foot or arm length away from you, of your own loved ones. You're not ready for that, man. So even though, yes, it's beautiful for us to be free from captivity, you may not want to see with your own eyes, in a sense where, your neighbor that you pray for, you see his head roll off his shoulders. You understand? It's a lot of y'all not ready. A lot of y'all really don't want to be on the wrong side of the Lord when he comes to visit. Let me put it like that. Now, let me get to, I have two questions right here. Let me get to the two questions. Let me get to the precept, right? What was the first question? You're going to wait for Christ to fight? Absolutely, we're waiting for Christ to fight. That's when the decree is brought forth. The decree is brought forth. Christ is coming back to deliver his people, man. But if you're following the law, isn't it that a time to rejoice? What do you mean by that? Let me say it. What do you mean by, if you're following the law, isn't it a time to rejoice? Because we follow the law, right? What is it again? If you could explain what you mean by that, right? I'm going to get a precept for it as well. We get a precept for that. And then I'm going to go to the precept I wanted to bring out. What do you mean by, is it going to be time to rejoice? Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1. Ecclesiastes 3:1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. There is a time for everything, right? There is a time for everything. Following the law. I mean, Job followed the law. Job was a perfect man, but he lost everything. He didn't rejoice at all. Abraham followed the law. He had to kick his own son out, and that grieved him. That's why I'm saying, what do you mean by, if you follow the law, isn't it a time to rejoice? That's why I'm asking, right? Because there's a time for everything. Let's go to verse 4. Salakia. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 4. A time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance. There is a time when we're going to rejoice. There is. She said, wouldn't that be a win? So again, I'm going to see, what do you mean by wouldn't that be a win? Because angels do rejoice when a sinner comes into the truth. Was that Luke? That's somewhere in Luke, right? Angels do rejoice when a sinner changes its life and comes into the truth, right? It says angels are rejoicing every time. You understand? But how can we rejoice when, what example could I give? There's a brother that just got unalived yesterday or 2 days ago in Wisconsin. I can't rejoice when my people are still being lynched, but there will be a time where we will rejoice, though. When Christ comes back and the kingdom is established, when the kingdom is on the earth, right? It says, matter of fact, there is a time, there will be a time to rejoice. Who knows the precept? Who knows the precept? There will be a time to rejoice. I'm gonna give y'all a second. When are we gonna be able to rejoice? That is going to answer your question. When are we gonna be able to rejoice? Dobie said you can't rejoice for being black. You can feel, listen, that's subjective. You know, that's subjective. I would definitely rejoice for being black, man. Listen, we're the greatest people on the planet. But do they know that? Do black people on a daily basis know that they're the greatest people on the planet? For them to rejoice about being black? Do Mexicans know that they're niggas too? For them to rejoice about being black, regardless of their skin complexion and hair texture? Anyone who knows the precept? There is a time to rejoice. Let me give y'all 30 more seconds. There is a time to rejoice, and it's going to be amazing. You understand? It's going to be beautiful. The Bible do say, where is it? Revelation, 21? There shall be no more tears. Listen, tears will be wiped away. You won't even have to worry about getting cancer, all types of diseases. There's new diseases every day. We brought this up, last month or so? Y'all think they found a cure for AIDS, right? The Lord, so poetic, he came with a super AIDS. He said, y'all ain't getting rid of no AIDS. What's wrong with y'all? Y'all still sexual deviants. You think you're just getting rid of AIDS? Let me give y'all 30 more seconds, and then I'm going to give y'all the precepts. Nobody say Arabs and Africans are black. They're not black. They may have melanin, but they're not black people. They're not Israelites, right? But real quick, for time's sake, let me just give y'all a precept. This is Proverbs chapter 29, verse 2. It says, when the righteous are in authority, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. That's when we'll rejoice. When the righteous meaning those who follow the laws, statutes, and commandments. That's what righteous means, to follow the laws, statutes, and commandments. When those people are in authority, when the 144,000 elect, the government of the Lord is in authority, when Christ come back, you understand? When the new earth, the new Jerusalem is there, everybody will rejoice. That's when we'll rejoice. Why? Because we won't be in captivity no more. We won't be lynched no more. You won't even have to worry about, listen, how many bodies does she have? Because sex is marriage, and you know that woman, once she sleeps with you, she's never going to leave. You won't even have to worry about, being treated like a whore, because that man is never going to leave you. You won't have to worry about how you're going to raise your kids. Why? Because it's not going to be we should be tolerant on people's sexuality and preferences and all types of nonsense. No. Why? Because when the righteous are in authority, righteous rulership will be here on earth. The kingdom of God will be here on earth. You understand? And that's when the people will rejoice. Let me finish that and then we'll get to the other precept. When the righteous are in Proverbs 29:2, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, which is right now, the people mourn. Why? Because they have whole islands where they ship children. That's why. Because there's a people, right, that have the highest rate of prostate cancer in the world. Why? Because the white man is the devil and he's the wicked that beareth rule. Palestinians, they're using a weapon in Palestine, right? That produces a higher level of heat than flowing magma and flowing volcano. That's why people are mourning. They're using white phosphorus in Lebanon. They are molesting little boys in Afghanistan because of their culture. There is no protection for women and girls in Pakistan from being sexually assaulted. That's why people mourn. You understand? That's why people mourn. But when the righteous are in authority, people will rejoice. People will rejoice. They'll be glad that they are serving the nigger God in the nigger king kingdom. They'll be glad. They will not fret anymore about napalm, white phosphorus. They won't even, there's not going to be an issue with Asians worrying about being blamed for a plague because they will not eat rats. They will have to abide by the law. You understand? That's why. I pray I answer your question. Now, let me get to the precept of the day of the Lord that nobody is ready for. Right? That's why we need to make sure the house of the Lord needs to be cleansed first, man. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 13, verse 6. Any other questions, comments, feel free to ask. Anyone? Right. Isaiah chapter 13, verse 6. Let's start there. Howl ye. To howl is to let out a cry. You understand? Not like a howling wolf, but a howl could be something creepy and scary. Howl ye, for the day of the Lord. What did we just read earlier? Gather together before the decrees bring forth. Lord come upon you, man. And we're about to see what is the day of the Lord. And it's definitely not what is being taught in the church. Howl ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. Listen, time is short. We're seeing all these wars, these rumors of wars, these impending famines and plagues, which is announcing the day of the Lord that is at hand. Howl ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction. Not hugs and kisses like the church teaches. It says right here, the day of the Lord is coming as a destruction from the Almighty. Salakia. What does the church teaches? What is the day of the Lord in the church? Christ is coming. They call it the rapture. Listen, the day of the Lord, call it the rapture. That's how you know the church is a house of deviancy. If you Google right now, what is a rapture? A rapture, listen, let's see what the rapture is. All right. Let's see what the rapture is, and then we'll get back to that. That's why it's hilarious, right? That's what, first of all, the word rapture is not even in the Bible. That's number one. Second, this is the definition of rapture. Rapture has two primary meanings. Generally, it refers to a state of extreme happiness, ecstasy, and overwhelming emotional delight. Who knows what that means? Who knows? A state of extreme happiness, ecstasy, and overwhelming emotional delight. Who could sum this up? What is a rapture? That's the definition of it. What is a rapture? Whether you have kids or not, you should know what a rapture is. Who knows what's a rapture? Y'all don't? Y'all need the answer? No sweat. A rapture is an orgasm. That's it. Listen, if y'all have a significant other, if you men have a wife or more than one wife, you understand? Y'all get raptured up, man. That's the rapture. This is not the day of the Lord. But the day of the Lord, let's read it again. Isaiah 13:6. Howl ye, for the day of the Lord, not the rapture. The day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Y'all not ready for that, man. Y'all barely ready for potholes in your city. You want to talk about being ready for the day of the Lord coming as a destruction? Y'all complain about potholes all the time. Y'all, they just had an earthquake. Where did they have an earthquake just now? In Texas. They had a 5.5 magnitude earthquake in Texas. Was it yesterday or this morning? Who is ready for that? Y'all not ready for these earthquakes in these diverse places that are about to get worse. You want to talk about getting ready for the day of the Lord? Listen, you want to get ready, you come to class, man. You come to class, you change your life, and you get ready, and you hold, and you stay steadfast, man. You're not expecting, pray Jesus, sweet baby Jesus, for the day of the Lord is coming. Listen, stop this, man. The Lord is a man of war. He's getting his army ready, his men of war ready, because the day of the Lord is coming as a destruction. You don't want to be caught unprepared. Let's say that, right? Let's keep reading. Verse 7. Therefore shall all hands be faint. What does it mean, all hands be faint? Right? Therefore shall all hands be faint. What does it mean, all hands be faint? The other though be police be upon him. What does it mean, all hands be faint? I'm telling y'all, not ready, man. Who has ever been in a situation where they experience a extreme fear? They wet themselves. They soiled themselves. Whoever experienced an extreme fear where they were, I don't know if it was whether it's chased by some people, someone, or even an animal, or even where they were in a condition of life or death situation. Maybe they were drowning, and maybe people go on the plane. They're scared of planes, the altitude, or even the thought of what you call again, the plane crashing, right? Because of these movies and the propaganda and whatnot. Whoever experienced that before? Whoever experienced that? Anyone? Whoever experienced that before? How do I do this? No, sir, I can't do it. Okay, there you go. The sister say yes. Who else? No, sir, for time's sake. Listen, that's what it's talking about right here. It's an extreme sense. The day of the Lord is scary. It's telling you right here. Your hands being faint. Imagine your hands just shaking, right? I think they call it jittering or something. Not because you're high, because you're afraid, because you're nervous. That's the day of the Lord, man. I'm telling you right here. Therefore shall all hands be faint. Nobody is ready for the day of the Lord. It's a scary sight. Even the people who are going to be taken up, right? When it's, we're going to read that in a second. But it says we're going to be taken up on chariots. If you enjoy telling, Lord allow we get to see that day where we're taken up on chariots. Do you think it's just going to be, I expect to be taken up on a chariot? Matter of fact, let's get that real quick, right? And then go back to Isaiah. Go to Matthew. It's 24. I think it's 24 and 40, if I'm not mistaken. Book of Matthew, chapter 24. Yeah, 24 and 40. Book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 40 says, Then shall two be in the field. The one shall be taken and the other left. Imagine you're slaving or you're shopping or you're doing whatever. Out of nowhere, you're just taken up. You're being abducted. Like, what the hell is this? You don't even know what a chariot looks like from the inside, the outside. Either way, you just get abducted like, yo, what the? You don't know. You're working you're working in the yard, or you're at the family event, or you're slaving outside. You're slaving inside. You just get abducted. It says it right here. Two be in the field, one shall be taken, and the other left. That one that's taken, that's you being taken up a chariot. It's still scary though. It may sound like a relief, but listen, I hear horror stories. People, people get abducted. You're like, damn, getting a bag put over your head. It's a scary sight. You don't know what's going on. Either way, it's still gonna be scary though. You don't know what happened. You just know that you've been taken up, and the person next to you, they've been left. We do pray for all to come to repentance. That's what we teach these classes, man. It's not just for fun. It's not just for fun. It's not for fun, period. Salakia. It's not for fun, period. I could be playing video games right now. No, but we have a duty to let our people know that the kingdom is at hand. That what we just read again, the day of the Lord is at hand. And it's a scary sight. Read it again. Isaiah 13 and 7. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. It's talking about that. That's a different level of fear. When you hear that your heart is beating, it's just, this thing is, you don't even know how to act. That's how fearful you're going to be in that day. You could be tough. You got all the guns in the world. You go to the gym, martial arts, you have older brothers. Listen, your bitch is bad. And, she's a sniper. She went to the army. What's the nigga name again? The Grim Reaper. He's a retired sniper from the U.S. military. You hear his stories, and a cat bad like that, his hands will be faint and his heart will melt in that day. You understand? I don't care if you're in a cartel. It doesn't matter if you're in the Mossad. It doesn't matter if you're in the CIA. It don't matter. You're not tough. When it comes to the Lord, you're not tough, man. It don't matter. Your hands will be faint and your heart will melt. Let's keep reading. I'm going to show you that level of destruction, right? Yeah, any questions or comments, y'all put it in the chat. Verse 8. And they shall be afraid. It's not just a regular fear, like a fear of snakes, a fear of dog, whatnot. It's a different type of fear. It's telling you how afraid you'll be. It just describes the level of fear you'll have. And down the line is going to describe the level of destruction that will fall upon this society. Pangs and sorrow shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that traveleth. For all you sisters that had kids, man, especially when it comes to like these final contractions. Imagine the most painful contraction that you have. That's exactly how you're gonna feel. No, don't be buying them kits. I see people make pranks and things, right? They buy the kits that simulate a woman's contraction, right? Don't be listen. You're not ready for what's gonna happen. You're not ready, man. You're not ready. Trust me. Trust the Lord. He's letting you know right now. That was written thousands of years ago. You understand? That was written thousands of years ago, and it's telling you how afraid you're gonna be. Pangs and sorrow shall take hold of them. Have you Have you been so fearful that you see legs are shaking? You can't even stand straight. You have to ball up. You have to be, they call it, in the fetal position. They shall be in pain as a woman that traveleth, as a woman that's ready to give birth. It's describing your level of fear, man. They shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flames. You're going to be like, yo, boy. Look at these movies. Like, what's the movie again? I think, is it The War of Tomorrow? Tomorrow War? There's another movie, Independence Day. That's the one. You know, that's all acting, right? Now imagine that in real life. You see chariots coming down, especially because, yo, the day of the Lord is in the midst of World War III. Meaning what? Y'all already see buildings blown off. You might see body parts here and there. People shooting each other. You know, it's saying that what is it in Second Ezra? I think it's Second Ezra 15 and 16. I think sedition amongst men. You know, you're gonna be stealing from one another. You're gonna kick each other's door or whatnot. You understand? But you know what's gonna happen? It's already bad. Hey, no sweat, Izan. It's already bad, right? So like the white man's the devil. You already know, Carnal. That's why my connection is bad on the StreamYard. The point is this: you're seeing all types of horrific stuff. Why? Because it's the midst of the war, race war, civil war, world war, and the day of the Lord is coming right in the middle of that, and you're still another level of fear is going to overtake you. Man, hey, damn, y'all, trust me, y'all ain't ready, man. Y'all ain't ready. It's telling you right here, y'all are not ready. It says they shall be amazed at one another. Why? Because when Christ comes back, people are gonna be like, yo, he's gonna crack the sky open with 200 million black angels. Like you see in these movies when they're amazed at seeing like a spaceship, they're amazed at seeing like a Bigfoot or monster, whatnot. Imagine the sky being cracked open like an alien invasion, but it's a nigga. The 200 million nigga angels. They're like, damn, these crazy blacks and Latinos and natives on the street talking about Christ is coming back to save them. They were not that crazy. Another point to that, right? Telling us that we're crazy because we believe Christ is coming back like he left. You know, I don't want to hear none about calling us crazy, because y'all will believe in reptilians, like lizard people, society living in the sewers. The elites are lizards and mermaids and all types of stupidness, but you can't believe that Christ is black and that he's coming back black like he left black. Yo, don't talk to me about crazy, man. I don't want to hear none of that. Because y'all believe the earth is flat and it's on the back of like 4 elephants on the back of a giant turtle floating in space. That's a true conspiracy theory. Believe it or not, people do believe that. No, I don't want to hear nothing about we're crazy because we're going to be freed from captivity at last. If that's crazy, well, hey, I'll be crazy. I just know that you are a lunatic. You probably should stop smoking weed too. You understand? Let's get back to the precept, man. Isaiah 13 verse 9, behold, the day of the Lord cometh, cruel both with wrath and fierce anger. Again, it's not like the church told you the day of the Lord will be. The day of the Lord is something that is not pretty at all. Isaiah said pipe dreams. Yeah. Hey, listen, Shalom. Y'all got pipe dreams, man. Put down the pipe and the blunts and the straw that you put up your nose and the syringes that's getting you in these dreams, in these high dreams. Say it like that, right? Isaiah 13 and 9. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, cruel both with wrath and fierce anger. Why? Because he's madman. Y'all touched the apple of his eye. Lord is vexed. You think we know he's vexed at us. We know. Salakia. It says in Zechariah 2:8. Salakia. Zechariah 2:8. For thus said the Lord of hosts, after the glory had he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you, for he that touched you toucheth the apple of his eye. Yo, he's vexed because he touched his favorite people, man. He's vexed because he hung y'all. These nations hung the Lord's children. Y'all did all types of atrocities to the Lord's favorite people, to the Lord's children, something the Lord's value more than anything and anyone else. Oh yeah, y'all got it coming, man. You understand? Hey, shalom, Adam, y'all basha shabrakata. Y'all ain't even ready for what's coming. So, let's get back to Isaiah. Isaiah 13:9. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, cruel both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate. People talking about, yo, the Middle East is being reduced to a parking lot. That's what desolate means. This whole society will be, damn, I forgot what's the term in English. The point is this society will be rendered desolate. What does the word desolate means? What is the meaning of the word desolate? Bear me one second. What is the meaning of the word desolate? Desolate primarily describes a place that is deserted. Damn, imagine that. Lord, this is the level of destruction the Lord is about to bring. It's going to be a desert over here, man. Not literally with sand and everything, no, but it's going to be utterly destroyed. That's what it means. To the point where there's nothing left. Because what is a desert? There's nothing in the desert. There's practically no life in the desert. There's probably going to be more life in the Sahara Desert than in this society during the day of the Lord, man. There's going to be more life in the driest desert on the planet than after the destruction of the day of the Lord. Desolate primarily describes a place that is deserted, empty, and devoid of life. Devoid of life or inhabitants, often appearing bleak or depressing. That's the day of the Lord. You understand? That's the day of the Lord. Let's keep reading. And he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. Verse 10. So, like, where I want to go? Let's keep reading to verse 16. For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. Listen, everybody who's on a high pedestal, who is it again? Who's called the son of the morning? Lucifer. All these stars, all the son of the morning, they're not going to shine no more. They're going to be brought down to the deepest and darkest place of hell, which is on earth, by the way, not on the ground. They're not going to be looked at like we trying to shine as bright as them. No, it's going to be our time to shine. We are going to be the ones in the high places now. Our governments, our mountains are going to be put up. The difference is that ours will never fall. Our lights will never stop from shining, ever. You understand? Our lights will never run out of batteries. We will never short circuit. The only time that happened is when we sinned. The kingdom will be established forever. It's going to be an everlasting kingdom. Forget about an extended battery life. That battery life is infinite. That is our light. Now their battery is running out, and they know that. They know. Let's keep reading. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. You understand? Who knows what it means? Salaki. Before we move on to the next verse. What time is it? Damn, Salaki. Bear with me 1 second. I'm gonna have to give it for time's sake. It's talking about knowledge, man. The sun and the moon, if I'm not mistaken, it's talking about knowledge. The sun and the moon is referred to as no, is it knowledge or wisdom? I want to be given the wrong word. Let me get back to y'all on that. I don't want to give the wrong word, right? I'm gonna get back to y'all on that next week. No, Salakia, next week we'll be in Chicago for the Midwest Fire Weekend, right? Lord Allah, I see my nigga Azan, see Trooper Adam as well. Lord Allah. If not, well, say we'll see each other regardless. You understand? Because Passover is coming up too. The sun and the moon is not the truth. La'ah. It's if I'm not mistaken, it's wisdom. If I'm not mistaken, it's wisdom. Let me see. Bear with me 1 second. Where's the precept? I think it's a Revelation. If I'm not mistaken, it's wisdom. Let me see if I can get you for you real quick. If not, I'm going to just save it for next class. Matter of fact, y'all can ask this question Saturday because we have the Montreal Scripture Breakdown at the Community Center. It will be starting in English, the classes. Bear with me 1 second. It represents wisdom and knowledge. I just need to find y'all. If I'm not mistaken, it represents wisdom and knowledge, but let me get back to y'all on that, right? You don't want to be philosophizing and just assuming stuff. We always make sure. If we're not sure, we make sure, right? But let's jump down to Isaiah chapter 13. Let's go down to verse 19 for time's sake. Then down to verse 14, right? Let's go to verse 12 because that is an important part. That is so important, right? Isaiah chapter 13, verse 12. I will make a man more precious than fine gold. That's so important, right? Why? Especially for y'all sisters over there, man. Y'all going to need a man. In these days, a man will be more precious than fine gold. Who knows what it means? Aizan or Adam or anyone on the Bigo in the chat. Who knows what it means? A man more precious than fine gold. What does that mean? What is a man more precious than fine gold? What is a man more precious than fine gold? Yo, give it for time's sake, Babu Kusha. Double time, Babu Kusha. He's more valuable, yes, but what does that mean? What is a man more valuable than fine gold? Let me finish reading it. I will make a man more precious than fine gold. In these days, these perilous times, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. For those who don't know, that's you see 24 carats of gold, the gold of Ophir is better than that. That's how precious a man will be. But what is a man more precious than fine gold? than the golden wedge of Ophir. What is a man more precious than fine gold? SHALAM, YAHANNA, Brakatha. What is that? What is that? What is a man more precious than fine gold? We give you all about one more minute before I give you the answer. What is a man more precious than fine gold? Why is it so important in these last days? He can't be bought. Okay, but okay, you're not wrong. In the sense, what do you mean by he can't be bought? What does that mean? Let me before I say you're not wrong. What does that mean he can't be bought? What does that mean? He can't be bought. What does that mean? A man more precious than fine gold, he can't be bought. Yeah, they don't know that on the Beagle. They're not ready for that. What does that mean? He can't be bought. What does that mean? Mean he won't compromise his beliefs. Okay. That's not incorrect, right? That's not incorrect, but for times I'm going to give you all the answer. A man more precious than fine gold, that's y'all in the truth. That's a man of the Lord. A man that keeps the law, statutes, and commandments. That's what's more precious than fine gold. Who knows the precept? If y'all don't know, it's fine. Y'all just say y'all don't know or ask for the precept, right, for time's sake. Matter of fact, let me just give y'all a precept for time's sake. It's Psalms chapter 19, verse 7. That's the precept. Psalms 19 and 7. The law of the Lord is perfect. The law of the Lord is flawless, man. Converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making the wise simple. That's where you want to start. You want to start because it's a man that's following the law. A righteous man is going to be a man more precious than fine gold. Verse 8. The statutes of the Lord are right, rejoicing the heart. So the commandments, the commandment of the Lord is pure, enlightening the eyes. Verse 9. The fear of the Lord is clean. All these have to do with the law, man. The law, the statutes, the commandments, they're perfect, they're pure, they're clean. As should the house of the Lord should be. The fear of the Lord is clean. The fear of the Lord is a good fear to have. The fear of the white man is not good. It's nasty. The fear of the white man will make you compromise. The fear of the white man will make you compromise. The fear of the white man will make you shave your beard. The fear of the white man will make you divorce your husband for Section 8, for welfare, or for whatever benefits he told you that you would have that you're not going to have anyways. In case you didn't know. But the fear of the Lord is clean, enduring forever. That's the truth, man. We just read that last week. What is it again? First Ezra chapter 4, verse 38. The truth endures forever. That's the truth, man. That's the man in the truth. That's the man of the Lord, a man that's fearful of God. Right? Damn right, Isaiah. He'll make you wear a suit and a tie and look like a whole sodomite. The judgments of the Lord are true and righteous altogether. But you want to start at verse 7. Why? Because verse 7 talks about the law. But the focal point when he talks about more precious than fine gold is this one. Psalms 19 and 10. More to be desired are they than gold. What's more desired than gold? The law, the statutes, the commandments, the fear of the Lord, these judgments that are right. That's how you know what is a man more precious than fine gold. Psalms 19 and 10. More to be desired are they than gold, yea, than much fine gold, than much fine gold, sweeter also than honey and the honeycomb. That's why I love this precept so much, man, because it tells you how the law is precious. The law is more precious than gold. And the man in that day, a man will be more precious than fine gold. Not these drug dealers out here, not Offset, who's a half a sodomite. You understand? What's the nigga name again? This nigga compromised his whole image of a gangster and gangster rap, and Mick Meal hopping around like a bunny rabbit for the white man. Come on, man. Come on. I'm even gonna pull up the clip. This man was hopping around like a bunny rabbit. What's rabbit again? Like a conejo. This thing was hopping around like a conejo for the white man. But a man of the Lord, a man that follows the law, is going to be more precious than fine gold in these perilous days, man. It's important for y'all sisters out here. Picking the right man it's going to be detrimental. And why I love this precept right here too, because you see how precious it is? It's more precious than fine gold. But you know what also is precious? You know how precious honey is till this day. They're finding honey today from the time of ancient Egypt. You know you can still eat it, right? Why? Because honey is one of the only food that literally never goes bad. You know what else never goes bad and endures forever? The law. The truth. You understand? Honey never goes bad, man. It could crystallize. That's easy to fix. You just boil it, apply some heat, and it becomes liquid again. Honey never goes bad. So does the law. You understand? Listen, watch this. See, you don't want a man like Snoop Dogg, man. Snoop Dogg, as I said, Snoop Dogg said he'll never perform for Trump, but he ended up tap dancing for him. And that's a fact. That is a fact. You understand? Nick Cannon was told, oh, we cancel you, and then he apologized. For what? Saying, what did Nick Cannon do again? He said the Jews are black or something like that, or was it Kanye West? Either way, these men will compromise because they don't have the fear of the Lord. They don't fear the Lord. They fear the white man. That's who they fear. You understand? They're not worth a penny. And in these last days, no matter what amount of money you have, a man with no morals, a man with no code of conduct, a man that doesn't follow the law, statutes, and commandments is not even worth a penny. But in these perilous days, especially for these sisters, matter of fact, these sisters, you brothers out here who trying to look for brotherhood, you young white ends trying to look for a father figure that don't know who to follow, whatnot, when you're going to be lost like never before in these last days, guess what? I will make a man more precious than fine gold. Let me just see what it means. It means a man of the Lord, a man that follows the law, statutes, and commandments, that can only be found in the Israelite school of universal practical knowledge under commanding General YAHANNA. You understand? Even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. Let's keep reading for time's sake. Salakia. Verse, let's jump down to, I want to go to verse, what is it, 19, I think. We'll go to verse 19, Salakia. Matter of fact, no, let's go back to verse 14. Because this, in verse 14, right? Like I was mentioning, what it says in Second Ezra 15 and 16 about seditions among men. You jump down to Second Ezra 15, 16 on down to 20. That's what it's talking about right here in Isaiah 13 and 14. Let's read that. And it shall be as a chaste, as Salakia, Isaiah 13 and 14. And it shall be as the chaste roe. The roe is like a female deer or a female antelope, right? Like, see, like a prey item. When the prey, whether it's a deer, an antelope, what they do, they scatter. You understand? They scatter and they look for safety. Where? He's going to tell you where. And it shall be as a chaste roe, and as a sheep that no man take it up, as a sheep with no shepherd. What do these sheep do? What do these goats do? What are these roes? These deers, these antelopes, these wildebeests? What do? They shall every man turn to his own people. That's what's going to happen. Just like deer scattering, they regroup within the herd. The zebras, the buffaloes, the wildebeest. Listen, I watch too much. What do you call it again? Animal Planet. What is it called? National Geographics. I don't know. I'm not smart, but I know some shit. It's a lot, yo. The point is, in these last days, what's going to happen? You want to be integrated with everybody. Guess what? Everybody's going to segregate themselves and join their own people. That's what's going to happen. That's why, again, it says a man will be more precious than a fine gold. You don't want a man that's going to compromise for no white woman. He's going to get you killed. Why? Because he has that same lasciviousness of Martin Luther King. That same lasciviousness, you know what he got Martin Luther King? A place in a grave. That's what happened. You understand? You know who you can marry, though? You can marry a beautiful Mexican woman, making you tacos for the rest of your life while you go to war, while you defend the house. I seen a sister talking about, yo, why you nagging your man at 2 a.m? He's playing video games. There will be a time where you're not gonna be nagging your man about playing no video games or doing whatever in the house, because you're gonna be glad that you're under the protection of a man that's more precious than fine gold. You don't have time to nag. You don't have time for that. You ain't even gonna have time to argue about why did he have to take on another wife. You even gonna think he has another wife. You don't even care. You're like, oh, I'm glad that I'm protected. The kids are protected. Is it gonna be a time where we're going to read what's gonna happen? And these times are coming. These times are at hand right now. Let's read that again. And it shall be as the chaste roe, and as a sheep that no man take it up. Why? Because there is no shepherd, there's no protection. Therefore, you're going to join with your own people. They shall every man turn to his own people and flee. Meaning what? What does the word fleeing means? For time's sake, it means to run away. Because you need protection. Because you are fearful. We just read it. Your hands will be shaking. Will have pangs like a woman that's about to give birth. You're going to run away. Everybody's going to run away and seek safety where? Within their own people, within their own community. You understand? And flee everyone into his own land. Let's read again. Let's keep reading. Verse 15. Everyone that is found shall be trust true. This means impaling, to be trust true. This is not, listen, see it as a metaphor or not, it means that your life is at risk. That's what it means. Whether it's with a knife, whether it's with a bullet, whether it's with a hammer, damn. Listen, it don't matter what you'll be trust true with. Your life is at risk in these last days. You understand? Everyone that is found will be trust true. Your life is in danger, man. And everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Should we break this down? Or do you understand that in these last days, you're going to have no choice but to gather together, as we read. Gather together before the day of the Lord come, before the decree is being sent forth. You don't want to? Well, guess what? In these last days, everybody's going to gather themselves with their own people, whether you like it or not. That's what's going to happen. That's already happening when Palestine was bombarded again by these fake Jewish people. You know what happened? The Arabs rallied together in support of their Palestinian brothers. You understand? Khan, I'm gonna get your question in a second, Izan, before the end of the class. Verse 16. We're just going to read out to verse 19. I'm gonna get your question. Verse 16. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Remember what I told y'all about? What I was quoting from Commander John YAHANNA that he brought up, I think it was last lecture, Midwest Fire Weekend, right? Y'all not ready to see your kids die, man. No, you're not ready for that. You're not ready. You know what happened though? So the Lord is not with you. Hey, you're not ready for what's about to happen. You better put the weed down. You better cover your head if you're a sister. You better stop being a sexual deviant as a brother. Listen, you have sex with that woman, you better keep her. You know, you better forgive one another. Just like just like it's so easy for you to forgive the white man. What did it say? We need to stop with racism. It's all in the past. Well, that's never-ending beef between all these gangs. It's all in the past. Y'all don't even know what you're beefing for. Put that aside. How about you forgive one another? How about that? You have no issues forgiving the white man. Well, you should have no issue forgiving one another. If not, their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Yeah, I'm pretty sure by then maybe you're gonna reconsider, trying to forgive one another. You're gonna reconsider not forgiving one another. I don't know. It's just a hunch. Again, I'm not smart, but I just know shit, right? And I think I know by then, with all the bodies lying around in the streets, just maybe you'll consider repenting and changing your life and stop killing one another. Maybe you consider putting, your pipe dreams away. Is that what Eisen said? The pipe dreams? Maybe you consider putting the crack pipe down. Just maybe you will consider to not be a whore no more. Maybe, or maybe not. But we pray that you do. We pray you do. You understand? Because it's not, listen, the day of the Lord, we're reading about the day of the Lord. You can read it and it's not just reading it. Sometimes you might hear me referring to some movies like the movie Greenland, Independence Day, some apocalyptic movie, just for you to have a visual, because it's important for you to have a visual, which that's why we're about to go down to verse 19. Having a visual is for you to be able to even try to fathom the level of destruction that's about to fall on this empire. You read about children being dashed to pieces before your eyes. You're literally witnessing and seeing that. You understand? Like I said, I gave an example on how I seen a motorcycle accident. These men's legs were torn off, torn apart. These are grown men. Now imagine children. Imagine what we had to see. I brought this on in a history class about the atrocities of slavery in the French colonies. You just read about it, you could barely stomach it. Now imagine those who had to see it. Y'all are not ready. Y'all better come to class and get ready, man. Because we're going to have nothing but one another to rely on. Let's keep reading. Their houses shall be spoiled and their wives ravished. Should I break this down? So it's a rhetorical question, of course. That's why a man will be more precious than fine gold. You sisters, get up on the man on the Lord, man. Get under the wing of a man on the Lord, Salakia. Because when they're coming to spoil your house and ravish you, you're gonna thank the Lord. Barakatah Yahweh Yahweh Shai, Most High in Christ, that you have proper guidance and protection to prevent that from happening. The man of the Lord, listen, he's gonna fight to death for you. These men, I seen a video, some man, he put his wife on the forefront when he was in a beef or something like that. You understand? That's not a man of the Lord. That's a sodomite. Let me say it like that, because I don't want to say the F word. You understand? when these people come to ravish you, like the man of Sodom and Gomorrah try to ravish the angels, you're gonna be thanking the Lord that you have a man of the Lord protecting you. You understand? It's like we have Yaman Marvin Yabasha Shabakatha. We also have Officer 1000 and Mataza joining us.
Yawashashabakta, Karnal.
Hey, Shalom Adawan Yabasha Shabakatha, sir.
What's good with it? Can you hear me?
Kawa, we hear you Adawan. Anything to Ab?
Con, everything to Wab, everything to Wab. It's like I'm late, but shit, we here. You know what I'm saying?
Most High in Christ. We're almost at the end of the class, but Most High in Christ for joining Adawan.
Con, no sweat, no sweat.
You know, let me bring back up the precept real quick. We're just finishing Isaiah 13. Salakia. You understand? You're gonna be glad that a man of the Lord, like Officer 1000 the Mataza from the tribe of Issachar, Yashakar. You understand? Is protecting you. You're gonna be glad that the men of the Lord, like Izan, like Adam, right, is protecting you. Like all these brothers in the UPK is protecting you. Whether you have children or not, it's irrelevant. That day of the Lord is a scary sight to see. And Salakia, of course, if you have anything to add, feel free to chime in at any moment. I don't want.
Con, if I could, Karnal, if I could, like, you know what I'm saying, what you saying is so heavy because it's like it's in the world you think that you need to save yourself, right? You don't think about others, right? You think about what you want and what, you know what I'm saying, what satisfies your belly. But in the school, like the I.S.U.P.K, the men in here, we are trained to resist everything that we want. Like Paul or Peter said, right? It's like what I do, I do not, and what I would do, I I don't do, right? Like we do what the people in the world, what the brothers in the world don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? What your oppressor is not willing to do, right? Which is to give you mercy and to protect you. You know what I'm saying? The brothers in here will protect our people. You know what I'm saying? Look, I just seen a video too where the police, their whole tactic is to harass. Like they see you stationed at a at a gas pump. You just got done pumping gas. You might be texting, you know what I'm saying, whoever, and they think that you're making a deal, right? They think that just because you're black, Hispanic, and Native American, you are a criminal in their eyes. That's the thing too, is that even the brother, like the brother was looking at the brother and was saying, like, as he's documenting, he's saying, yeah, people just stay in at the gas pump because they want to make a deal. And then the oppressor, right, the devil, is saying the same thing. Like they're both documenting this, and they just pull the, like, the brother, they tell the brother to get out, and they're searching him. Like, why do all this? Why? And you wonder why we are angry, right? That's another thing too, Barack Yalom, is they always say we sound mad, we sound angry. Of course we're angry. Look at how they treat us. You don't see it. You don't see the how they put us to shame. Donald Trump is always
Right.
saying that the Mexicans are evil. Don't pity them. Don't pity them. Don't feel sorry for them. They're animals. He calls us animals, right? All these other nations look down upon us. They see that they can get away with murder. They see that they can get away with hurting us. They can get away with it. Why? Because we don't have protections. That's why they in it was in Jeremiah, our the gates thereof are languished. Like we are destroyed. We are destroyed because we have no protection. Who's supposed to be protecting us? Your religious leaders. And what are they saying to our people? Turn the other cheek. They don't speak up for us. That's the problem, is that they do not speak up for us, nor do they show that they are with us. They show more that they are with their oppressor. We have became meat to every beast of the field. That's in Ezekiel 34 and 6 or 8, right? We have became meat because of our religious leaders. We give them we look up too much to them. We respect them too much. And we look and we see that marching, we look at marching and we look at these voting booths and we think that we're gonna make a difference in this society, in this world. But we can't, man. We cannot. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, Israel needs to separate themselves from America spiritually. We need to stop thinking that we are all united. America is not united, as you can see. As you can see, as you look at your phone and you see that your news feed is filled with nothing but harassment from the ICE agents, harassment from the even the president, harassment from every even Moab, the so-called Chinese, will hunt you down, run what 3-4 blocks just to unalive a black man, a young brother. He will run and chase you down. Why? Because they know that they can get away with murder. They know they can get away with it. And why? Because your life is not valued. That's why Zephaniah says, "Oh, gather yourselves together, O nation not desired." Who's the not desired? Us. La raza. Blacks, Hispanics, Haitians, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans. We are the not desired, man. We're not desired by nobody. But you know who does want you? You know who desires you? Who chose you? The Most High God, the God of Israel, the God of the blacks, Hispanics, and the Native Americans. Your God chose you out of all the families of this earth. Therefore, he will punish you for all your iniquities. That's why you need to depart from her, my
Con.
people. Like these are all like the Most High is consistently telling blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to separate themselves. But what do we want? We defend more other people, other nations, the heathens. We defend them for wanting to join us. But they don't even want to be with us. That's the problem. They don't even desire to be us. They love our culture. They love our food. They love our music. They love it so much that they are there. They'll spend their money for it, but they won't be there in the times of trouble. They are not there with us. They will never be with us, and nor does the Lord want them to join us, man. He wants us to be separate from these other nations, man, because you are holy. You are pure. You are clean. And what makes something tainted? What stains us is joining them. Salakia karnan. That's
Nah,
it. That's
Kyle,
that's all I
that's
got.
heavy, other
Karnan.
one. Yes, and give a hand to Officer 1000 and Matazal, you understand? That was heavy. And I'm if I could, I want to bring a quick preset.
Salakia, you muted right now.
Uh,
Salakia.
so can you hear me, other one? It's like other one. Can you hear me? So anyone in the chat, Aizan, Adam, can y'all hear me?
Salakia karnan, you're still muted. I don't know if you're talking right now, but like I was saying, man, like this is the ISUPK Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General YAHANNA. This is for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. Like we have been teaching the truth since 1969, man, telling our people that you are the chosen people of God, man.
So
Like how valuable that is. Go ahead, Karna.
can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Most likely, Salak, no, I was saying, what Officer Matazal said is heavy. I wanted to bring a quick precept before we ended because I know the trooper Aizan also asked a question. Based on what you said, right? This is Philippians chapter 2. Salakia. Philippians chapter 2, verse 2. Fulfill ye my joy, that ye be like-minded, having the same love, being of one accord, of one mind. You understand? This is us being one body. This is us doing the same exact thing, having the same love for one another, right? Being on one mind, being on the same accord. You understand? We're not having different faith. We're not, you know what? oh, you're Mexican, so you're just going to be for Latinos, and then we're blacks just for the blacks in the Caribbean. We all gather together, and then we separate ways because, you know, the job is done. Now we're one family from the jump. These two sticks are gathered together, having, what is it in Ephesians, I think 4:4, I'm paraphrasing, having one faith, one Lord, one baptism. You understand? We don't do, there's no breakoffs. This brotherhood is strong and it's not going anywhere, right? Verse 3. Let nothing be done through strife or vain glory, but in lowliness of mind, let each other esteem, Salaki, let each esteem other better than themselves. That's exactly what also Mataza brought out, man. Our culture is to be selfless towards one another, not to be selfish. You understand? Our culture, like Commander Johanna brought this out, to be a good leader, you have to be able to, you have to develop the ability to protect and feed the flock, not yourself. Protect and feed the flock. So you have to esteem other better than yourself, man. You understand? Like we bring this, listen, this is our culture. Our culture is brotherhood. Our culture is the law. It's about one another. A lot of y'all thinking about, again, a lot of y'all, when you think about getting a woman, y'all think about, yo, hey, she could do some things for me. You know, she could be a nasty freak. She could be this and that. Yo, how about you think of a woman and look at it like, yo, let me be her superhero. She needs protection. Let me be her guidance. Not, yo, I want to beat it, and you know, I just want to satisfy myself. I got a woman most of Christ. Let me get all these women, and that's another heavy point because it's like, maybe when more than one woman, right? A lot of people think it's about just sex. Listen, you have one woman, you're gonna have all the sex you want in your life. You understand? But having more than one woman, think of it as they all need protection. You too, sis. Think of it like, yo, he just don't want more than one woman just because he want to have all the sex in his life. No. They all need protection. Remove the selfishness. When it comes to your people, remove the selfishness out of your mind and habits. Think selfless. That's what it's about. Be selfless towards one another. You want to be selfish? Be selfish to the love you give to every other nation. Give to your people only. That's when to be selfish. You understand? Be selfish when it comes to loving everybody. You know when you have to be selfish? Because you're selfish because you only give your love to blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. I'm going to be selfish because I only love Mexicans. I don't love fake Mexicans like Sheena, what's her name? Sheena Shinbaum, whatever the president is. No, she's from Austria. She's not even Latina. She's not even Mexican. I'm going to be selfish when I love real Dominicans. You understand? Regardless of skin complexion or hair texture, the same blood as I have. That's when I'm going to be selfish, man. I'm going to be selfish because I'm going to love real Colombians, not no Shakira. Not right. What's the one we thought was a sister again? Salma Hayek. I don't love Salma Hayek. You understand? I love what's the singer name that died? Selena. You understand? I love my people, man. That's why you need to be selfish to the point where there's not a lot of love for everybody. And even if there was, yo, I can't be giving my love to another people when my people need it more. They're the nation not desired. They have to feel desired. You understand? And this is where this is when I'm gonna be selfish. When it comes to dealing with one another, we have to be selfless and esteem one another. And so, like, if I could just finish this verse before we end it out on
Fine, I got you.
Isaiah, this is the level of destruction of the day of the Lord, man. And then Isaiah, I got you. I'm gonna give you the precept that you asked for, Isaiah. One of many precepts. SHALAM, sis Raki. Isaiah 13 and 19. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms. We're in the second Babylon right now. We're in the daughter of Babylon right now, man. And this is the level of destruction that you're not ready for, that no one is. That Christ said it'll be a level of destruction that no one has ever seen before, that no one will ever see again. That's what Christ said. The beauty of the Chaldees' excellency shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. That's the level of destruction that's about to happen. There's another precept that says that it's going to be worse than Sodom and Gomorrah. Right? It's going to be worse than Sodom and Gomorrah. You understand? I'm putting in the Mexico chat for time's sake. Let me get the precept Eisen asked about being suffering for one another. What is it again? Second Peter chapter 3, verse 9. There's many precepts about being long suffering, but that's one of my favorite ones. Second Peter 3 and 9. No, so like I got it out of one.
Okay, come. I got you. I'll read it. This is the book of 2 Peter, chapter 3, verse 9. The Lord is not slack concerning his promise.
Listen, that's especially for all you Muslims saying, it says in the Quran, right? It says in the Quran, the nation of Israel was chosen, but the Lord forgot about them. Shout out to the sister Yahweh Shemala Thaba Hashem Yahweh Shai. Most in Christ says, it says in the Quran, the nation of Israel was chosen, but they forgot. The Christians said, well, the Lord was done away with Israel. It's for everybody now. That's not what the Lord said, man. The Lord promised the nation of Israel that they won't get back what Adam lost. That's what the whole Bible is about. That it's getting back what Adam lost. It's going back to the land where Adam was kicked out from. That land of flowing milk and honey, that fertile land, they call it the Fertile Crescent. That's what it's about. You understand? Baba Kusha.
Come. As some men count slackness.
Listen, the Lord is not a procrastinator like you are. It says, tarry not to seek the Lord. The Lord is not a procrastinator, man. He didn't forget. You know, he knows you're suffering for over 400 years. He knows. You understand? He didn't forget about you. He's waiting on you, as a matter of fact, as opposed to you waiting on him. Stop. That's how selfish you are, man. That's how selfish you are. Talking about, yeah, I'm waiting on the Lord. The Lord is waiting on you. Talking about, Lord, please hurry. He's telling you, hurry up, clean this house so I could come deliver you from this hell, man.
Right.
Salakia.
But it's long suffering to us award.
But it's what?
But it's long suffering to us ward.
That's what you want, Isaiah. The Lord is long suffering with us. He's patient. We're not waiting on God, man. God is waiting on you to stop smoking crack. God is waiting on you to stop being a sodomite. God is waiting on you to love Mexicans. God is waiting on you to forget about the blancamiento. That's what God is waiting on you for, man. God is waiting on you to have the Salvadorians and the Mexicans stop beefing about what? A football game? Right. Y'all know Salvadorians and Mexicans beef over a football game for like decades to kill one another for that, right? God is waiting on the Dominicans and the Haitians to stop killing one another, to love one another. That's what God is waiting for. God is waiting on you to stop aborting your kids.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Damn right.
There's a whole list that God is waiting on you to stop doing. God is waiting on you to stop loving and worshiping the white man. God is waiting on you to come to class. That's what God is waiting on you for. He is long suffering. That's how much patience we have to have with one another, especially coming out of this hell. You understand? Moses didn't have the patience. That's why he gave the bill of divorce. He didn't have the patience to counsel everybody, but it was never meant to be so, ever. We understand we have to be patient with one another, just like the Lord is patient with us and he's long suffering. That's him being patient to us word. Who's us? Who is it addressing to? All the New Testament is for, to, and by the Israelites only.
Right.
Salakia.
Not willing that any should perish.
The Lord don't want any of us to perish. It says, I think, in the book of Judges, I'm just paraphrasing for time's sake, Judges 10 and 16, it grieves the Lord to see us in captivity. It grieves him. It's painful for a parent to punish their kid and see their kids cry and see their kids tear. It doesn't matter if it's just timeout in the corner or the kids are in jail. It don't matter for what reason. When the kids are being punished and reprimanded, it's hurtful as a parent, man, to raise your voice to your kid. Sometimes you think it's pleasant to just check your wife, check your kids and raise your voice. Nah, it's needed though, so that they understand not to do it ever again. Trust me, I think we understood that we don't want to be lynched again. We don't want to see our women, men, children ravished right in front of us. I think we learned the lesson now. I think so. You understand? He's being patient, that he don't want any of us to perish that second death. He wants all of us to be on a chariot during the day of the Lord that we just read about. That's going to be worse than Sodom and Gomorrah.
Right.
You understand? Salakia.
But that all should come to repentance.
That all of us should come to repentance. That's the precept you want eyes on. Out of many precepts, that's the one you want. You know, if you want any other precept, yeah, listen, that's what we're here for. That's why everybody needs to come to class, man. You don't just read these precepts, you apply them.
Right.
You know, and that's that being long suffering towards one another. Patience is key, man. Whether it's between brothers, whether it's between sisters, with your in your family, with your wives, children, grandchildren, you're gonna need patience. And if you don't have patience, man, who are you for the Lord to have patience with you if you can't have patience with one another?
Right.
What do you think this is? It's a one-way street. You better fix up, man. That's what the Lord is telling you. Yo, you better fix up before I come to visit the iniquity. Matter of fact, let's bring this last precept. Salak. Listen, let's go to Lamentation, because this is our last captivity, and people don't understand that, right? That's why this destruction is going to be something never seen before. Why? Because this is the end. This is the last one. Go to Lamentations chapter 4, verse 22. Let me share my screen. Lamentations 4 and 22.
I got you. No sweat. Lamentations 4 and 22. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished.
It says it again in Joel chapter 3, I think it's verse 1 or 2. That this is the end, man. This is the final showdown. He's coming to redeem us. You understand? Our punishment is over. You see, when you're looking at your clock on your watch, I put my child on timer for 5 minutes. You know what they call it, a doomsday clock? Listen, the Lord's doomsday clock is right now. It's at hand.
Right.
We're about 5 seconds from the doomsday clock. That's what they say. Our punishment is over. We're about to be free at last. That's why he's coming back to the house to make sure everything is cleaned. He's going to deal with you first. You understand? Salakia.
O daughter of Zion.
Oh, who?
O daughter of Zion.
Listen, you're the one being punished. You're the one being punished, Blacks, Latinos, and Native. The daughter of Zion is the nation of Israel. Not everybody is being punished the way you are, but you're the one whose punishment is over. For them, it's just the beginning. What is it? Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the one that followeth.
The beginning.
The one that beginneth.
Right.
I'm paraphrasing. Yeah. It's the end of your punishment.
Right.
It's the beginning of your rulership. A righteous rulership. A righteous authority. Salakia.
Khan. He will no more carry thee away into captivity.
Why? Because this is our last captivity. We won't be punished no more at the hands of these heathen. This is the very last time. This is the last empire under heathen rulership. Our kingdom, the kingdom of God, ruled by Christ, governed by the 144,000 elect, that will last forever. There's not a kingdom will ever fall. You understand? This is our last captivity. Finish Babu Kushab.
Oh, it's like it. He will visit thine iniquity.
Yeah.
Oh,
no, Salaki.
God. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins.
Listen, man, this is what a class is named. Clean up the Lord's house before he comes to visit. Because he will destroy the empire of Edom, which is the biblical name of the Caucasian race. He will discover its sins. It says in another precept, like he will lift up its skirt like the shame of a woman. Why? Because it's embarrassing for a woman to have her skirt lift up. That shame is only to be uncovered by her husband, man. You understand? That shame, that vulnerability of a woman when her skirt is lifted up, whether she has pennies or not, who cares? It's embarrassing. I forgot which precept it says. It's another precept that says he will lift up her skirt, but he will discover his sins. He will hold you accountable for everything you've done. White people, you're not getting off the hook. You will be held accountable for lynching Mexicans. You understand? You will be held accountable for poisoning Benjamites to the point where they have the highest rate of prostate cancer in the world. You will be held accountable for gator bait and for using our skin as leather, like you're using cow skin today. That's what it says. The Lord is coming to visit. And before he visits and he deals with these heathens, we need to clean up our house. With that said, we're going to end the class right here. Make sure you click the sign in and sign out links in the chat to what are you, Aizan as well. No sweat, carnal. Yes, on the bar. Make sure you click the sign in and sign out links in the chat. You understand? We'll be back this Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have the scripture breakdown from Montreal at the Community Center in Uptown Côte-des-Neiges 6767. Contact us. I'm going to put the call-in number. Salakia. If you're in the Montreal area, if not, you could just tune in online. But if you're in the Montreal area, contact us at 438-816-2578, 438-816-2578. If you want to be part of the school, if you want to attend these classes, especially physically in the community center, you understand? With that said, I'm going to get the security announcement. Salakia, do you want to say anything before we close out?
Khan, para los latinos, los indios nativos y los negros, tú eres hijo de Dios y Dios te escogió a ti para servirle a tu gente. You know what I'm saying? Si no eres indio nativo, indígena o latino, si no eres negro, ¿verdad? Si no eres de estos 12 tribus de Israel, Dios no te ama. Dios nomás nos ama a nosotros y te escogió a ti, ¿verdad? Te escogió a ti. Eso dice toda la Biblia y entra en estas clases para aprender más de tu cultura, de tu origen, ¿verdad? Porque esto es para nosotros, esto es lo que los va a salvar la vida y también los va a dejar, los va a quitar el estrés. ¿El estrés de qué? De saber por qué nos odia tanto. ¿Por qué nos odian tanto? ¿Por qué estamos sufriendo? Like, why are we suffering? Like this knowing this truth will save you such a headache. We look at these news and we look at the internet and we see that why do they hate us so much? You questioning like you don't know you want to know answers and and that's the thing about our people. We're very compassionate. We try to show them that we are good people. There's nothing you can show to these animals, to these devils, man. That's why in Obadiah it says, for thy violence against thy brother, shame shall cover thee. They're going to be covered up in shame. And that's what you need to do, man. Instead of showing them love and everything, show their shame. Show them how evil they are. Tell them how evil they are. Separate yourself from them. Because that's really that's how you show them how they should love you. Show them their shame. Show them how evil they have treated blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans. Show it to them. Tell them that they should be ashameful, that the children of God are being oppressed by your people. And this should help you, man. This will help you so much and understand why we are suffering, because they will never what is it? They have had a perpetual hatred against us, and it's a never ending. It's never gonna stop. So stop trying to convince them. Don't convince them, convince yourself to love yourself, man. That's what you should do. Love yourself and love your people and protect your people. You know what I'm saying? And with that, Salaki, you want to close it out?
With that, we're going to close out. Never forget, our oppressor is the goddamn devil the Bible speaks of. Notre oppresseur est le diable dont parle la Bible. Nunca olvides, el opresor es el pinche malparido diablo que está la vida. Con eso, Vamos a cerrar la clase. I'm going to read the security announcements, and then we're going to salute and close out the class. Tuwada, Israel, and Tuwada to have you. It was an honor to have you in class.
Water for having me here, man. Water.
Just read security announcement. This is the I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General YAHANNA. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into a school, they're off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, a teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After the 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 to 10, which means tenth in the Hebrew, pronounced ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department, the teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, now mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocation, we have coming up the memorial of blowing of trumpets, which will be the first day of the 7th month. Will be Friday, September 11th, 2026. You can read more about it in the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 24 to 25. We also have the annual Midwest Fire Weekend coming up, July 30th to August 2nd. You understand, which will be in Chicago, Illinois. You do not want to miss this. If you're so-called Black, Latino, Native American, Indians, you're all welcome, men, women, and children. This is a family event. This is a gathering. Make sure you do not miss it. This will be the safest place in Chicago. Salaki.
Right.
Reminder to all Akim Wakwathian, reminder to brothers and sisters to check the bulletin board in the hallway of the school to have physical location. If any brother wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf, that's how we're going to give a courtesy salute to the brothers and a courtesy salute to the sisters. Menavisual Imajim, which means to stand. We'll give a courtesy salute to the brothers. Menavisual Imajim Shabbat. Imajim, Barak, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shabbat, which means Yahweh Shai bless y'all. Yajamata, which means hands down. Sar, which means to turn. Turn and face the sisters if you have any in your presence. We'll give them a courtesy salute as well. Menavisual Imajim Shabbat. Imajim, Barak, Yahweh Shamar, meaning Yahweh watch over y'all in the name of Yahweh Shai. Yajamata means hands down, class dismissed. Go on, Israel.
Check me out, dog. Roll the window up, man. The water. Ain't no better, dog, brother. The son of a king. I don't Balenciaga. I might just wear a collar. I might just wear the Pradas. But I'm thinking long term, so I might say the dollars. We ain't no better. I'm just being honest. I should've went to college, but I was thinking violence. It's a one West world. We the fucking livest. Break it down, we break ground. We don't break no damn promise. Let's get active, dog. Don't tell me how you feel about it. These cats saying too much. They ain't learn enough. You maxed out the first quarter. I'm still warming up. These niggas tossing up a brick. They can't score with us. Who gon' come against us? On the Lord with us. Them niggas riding for you. Hope they ride till they crash. Put my name in your mouth. I put my belt to your ass. I ain't running no race. I just hope that I last. All them niggas you look up to, I consider them trash. Only time you seen a leader was in Wayne hand. Niggas will dap you, then pop you with the same hand. I'm a main player. I stick to the game plan. He don't really fuck with you. That's your main man. Them niggas came through and made your city hot. Yep, said he in the field, but he really not. And I ain't casting no stone, I just let him rock. And that's the kind of story they gon' read about. But if it's war, it ain't no tapping out. Grip still heat, spit like a dragon mouth.
listen, brothers and sisters, man, if you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please go to isupk.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're one